Joe, you look at all of the margins. You guys really didn't come out ahead in a lot of those, but you came out ahead at the end. You know you're not going to apologize for winning a game, but do you come out of this feeling like you need to talk about sometimes you don't play well and you win, and sometimes you play well and you lose? Is this one of those where you don't play well and you win?
I thought we played well. I just thought there were moments of the game that they were obviously a little bit better than us, but I didn't think we played poorly coming out of that. I thought our effort was there. I thought our intentionality was there. I just obviously, when you play small, that's going to happen in other areas. But I thought it's easy to see the negative side, but the positive is we just played so much faster on the offensive end, and we created good looks, and we got those. And so it's a trade-off. And at the end of the day, each game is going to tell a different story, and it's easy to say, what looked like it didn't go well, but what went well was our offense. And, they weren't able to switch us. They weren't able to steer us. They weren't able to keep us out of the paint, and we were able to create a ton of two-on-ones with our speed. And so I thought that was a tale in the second half. So, yeah, obviously we have to get better. I mean, we'll watch film tomorrow when we wake up, and there's 20 possessions that we have to get better at. But I thought the effort and the intentionality was there. We obviously have to do that. But tonight it was, obviously it was about, just kind of the offensive pace and the speed that we had that kind of got us good looks against a team that's one of the best defensive teams in the league.
And then fourth quarter, obviously you guys go crazy, 10 of 15 shooting from three. Is that just a result of sticking to the plan, sticking to those things that you were just talking about, and just trusting that it's going to eventually work out?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam hit 4, I think, of those. And once we did rebound in the second half, once we got some really good rebounds, that's where we got those off. That's where Sam, I think, got 4 of his off. That's where Ant got his. That's where Derek got 1 of his. And so I think Ugo had 1. I don't know if he made it, but I know we created a good opportunity on there. But I thought we put strings of good defensive possessions that allowed us to get out and get those, and that's where the connectivity of that lineup has to be there. We have to be able to have one-shot defense, and we have to be able to get out and run.
Joe, you've talked about the importance of embracing Celtics history. So what can you say about the Garden welcoming back Isaiah Thomas and kind of the energy that provided tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 2 things on that. Before that, I would say even when we were 0-3 or even whatever other external expectations were, it's always humbling and grateful when everyone shows up to the Garden. And I think we were 0-3, 3-3, 5-6, whatever the case was. I always turned to Sam Cassell and I'm like, man, this place is still packed. And so people just appreciate really good basketball, and I think that's what makes the job so special, being here. And you always feel like you got a chance because of that, and you do have a responsibility to that. So I want to say thanks to that. And then again, outside of the fact I couldn't hear in the timeout, I thought it was a great gesture to have IT back. I mean, he's done so much, for the city and really for the organization. And I came right at the tail end of him being here, but just who he was as a person and a player. It just says a lot about him. And, he sets an example of, yes, it's about winning, but also when you're a high character guy, people appreciate you, and you're able to leave the place, kind of a little better than you found it.
Joe, a lot of extended run for Ugo tonight. You've said before that sometimes you can tell when one of those guys just has it. Was there a moment in this game where you were like, okay, this is an Ugo game, I'm going to go with him down the stretch? And do you remember what that
it wasn't one particular. I mean, I just thought his energy was great on guarding both Ware and Adebayo. And I thought there was a couple of defensive possessions in the first half where he did a great job on that, and I just thought he was tremendous on both ends of the floor. I think that's who he has to be for us. Didn't play perfect, but play with a level of energy, but a level of awareness and execution on the offensive end, playing the 5 for us at times and creating advantages for us. But yeah, he had it early, and I thought he continued it throughout the game.
Is it freeing as a coach to have 3 or 4 of those guys that can come in and give you play that role, or is it almost challenging because you have a luxury of players kind of in that position?
I mean, everything just comes down to we all have an understanding of what gives us the best chance to win. So, I mean, I think I don't know that I think freeing and challenging are both the same thing. So it's both. And at the end of the day, the gift that I have is we have a group of guys that understand winning, and we're going to do what it takes to win, and that might be different each and every night. But they look at the guy next to them. If the guy next to them is impacting winning, they're just as happy. So that's the most important thing, is that we just keep our eye on the process of winning.
Joe, with Ugo, you mentioned the hustle and the energy and everything. It feels like he never turns that off. When he got here, after you guys drafted him, was there a moment when you realized that's what he's going to bring to the table? Like was it instant, that you just noticed he's never going to stop with the energy, with the hustle? It feels like he's on
No, I mean,
100%.
again, he's been well coached. He's played at one of the best organizations in the world, you know, in all sports, many sports. So, like, he's been around greatness for a long time. So, he's had that. And like I said before, his defensive instincts are better than most young guys have been, and I think that gives him a chance. Also, that's a skill, is being able to play that hard, and I think we have a bunch of guys that understand that on our team. He's one of them, and you kind of saw him at his best tonight, and you know we got to keep that up.
Why is it a skill? Like, why? Like, is it just like because some people can't do it, or some people like are better at it? Like,
I just think, I mean, some people are just better at it. I mean, I think he played 18. I mean, what was it 17 straight minutes, maybe something like that. I mean, some people, not everybody can do that, you know, and play at the level of consistency that he did for those 17 minutes.
Final couple questions, Zach and Garrett.
Yeah, Joe, along those lines, I think Sam and Anthony also played the final 17 minutes there. Just what led you to stick with that trio there, and what kind of a lift were they able to give you?
Yeah, again, I thought there was connectivity. Like, I thought our one-shot defense was better. I thought we got some great rebounds on that. We were able to get out and run, but I liked our offensive pace. I mean, again, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and you know, the game can come down to in a close game if you can't. You know, we just we can play so many different ways, and I thought tonight it was like we're going to win the game with our offense because of how good their defense is, and if we can generate advantages, and if we could put them kind of in matchup situations, I think that'll kind of put them on their heels a little bit. And I thought that unit did a great job of that, and then we were able to also get stops with that unit. So it's a credit to the guys just understanding that we could play different ways, and whatever gives us the shot that night.
Final question, Garrett.
So how do you turn the tide on the offensive rebounding? Like they came out playing hard. They're just regardless of who's out there, they just kind of play the same way. Like, how do you kind of adjust to that and then kind of take it back?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did too. I mean, I thought it was actually a different tale of a different type of game because last night they shot 25 threes, they shot 28, they shot 25 in the first half. So because of some of their guys out, they were playing different lineups and playing almost a different style to what they'd be able to do. So I thought both teams came out and played hard. I thought it's a little bit of a different situation to when, you know, they have different personnel and the spacing is different and they're shooting more than what they would have. You know, because of those guys that they have, and then you just have to chip away. So we had moments of that. They were 7 for 27 in the first half because we had 7 blocks. You know, no one talks about that. Like, we played small half to half, and we had 7 blocks. How's that happen? Because we played hard, because we executed. You know what I mean? For a team with played a big, I think Nemi only played 9 minutes in the first half, and we had 7 blocks. That's protecting the rim. That's taking care of each other. So, like, people don't notice that stuff. But they block it and go out of bounds. That's a dead ball rebound, so it looks like they got a ton more rebounds. So, like, to me, I thought we played just as hard, competed, and then we were able to kind of push away, obviously, with our offense. And again, like, you know, we have to win games in different ways. You want to, and tonight called for to win the game with our offense, and the guys did it.
Great, thank you, Joe.
Thanks.